Hey guys, welcome back to Release the Craftin, and welcome back to day 5 of the RTC Goblin Mode Challenge. Can you believe that we are 5 days into this already? This is so crazy. It's just absolutely ticking by, and I am loving every minute of it. And today the prompt is dirt, because I think goblins are a little bit dirty, and they get down into the dirt. So therefore, ergo, we had to do something with that. We had to do something dirt. And I thought it would be really fun to, one, pull out some art supplies that I purchased on a whim and then never actually used, which are those Prima art stones, and make some dirt. I thought it'd be really fun to make some dirt. And we're going to make like a hinged tag, so there's going to be a sliding element to it, but it was important to get the brads into the top part before we started painting and everything, so that they would match the final product, so that the top would all look the same and it wouldn't be two different colors, because I just thought that would stand out too much. So to do this, you need something textured, you need brown paint, and you need some glue. That's basically how you make dirt. So I'm using these art stones because I have them and have never used them. You could use salt, you could use sand, you could use actual dirt if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could. Or you could use like baking soda, and then that will give you the texture of dirt. And you're going to mix that with some brown paint. I used a watercolor, like a gel watercolor, to get the color I wanted, and a regular brown acrylic paint. And then I went back and ended up adding some of this Prima like pigment powder and some of these gilded flakes, because I thought they would show through a little bit as I applied it. They did not, so I ended up just adding a little sprinkle at the end when they were drying. But you're just going to mix that up until you get the texture of dirt. And you don't want it to be super runny. You want it to be like almost a solid paste, but not quite, because you do want to be able to move it around. And then you're just going to apply that very liberally on the top. I ended up with so much extra here that I ended up just painting the excess on this file folder as much as I could, so that I have dirt tags to use for something else when I need dirt. But yeah, we made dirt. That was the whole thing, and it's very fun. I had a really good time doing this. Messing around with this is like scratching that little mixed media center of my brain. So that was a lot of fun, but it was also just kind of fun to see how I could make dirt. But you need to have the glue in there. Like, so I use Mod Podge as my adhesive to keep all those little bits stuck to the paint, because the paint itself will not hold all those little bits to it. So whatever you use as your textured element to create your dirt, don't forget to add a little bit of glue to that so it actually sticks. And then we're just going to go through and cut out some backs, and you need a backing that is about 1 inch bigger than the whole project. So this was 3 1/4 by 4 inches, and then I cut the backing to 5 inches by 4 1/4. And then you also need another piece to be the like face of your card, and that's going to be the same size as your front piece, which was 3 1/4 by 4 inches. So you need those extra pieces, and then you can start to assemble. And you just want to make sure that all your shapes are the same. So if you're corner rounding like I did here, you want to use the same size corner rounding so everything all matches up. And then of course we're going to go through and distress everything so it has that nice grungy vibe. It has that sort of goblin-y texture. This is some dyed cardstock that I had left over from when I did a bunch of die cutting. I had one sheet left over of this particularly grungy page that I was saving for something special, and I think it works really well for this because it had a lot of really cool textures on the background. And then I'm using this background texture stamp to add some visual interest to our backing piece so that it's not just a plain bit of brown cardstock. I originally was going to go back over with some scrapbook paper and just back it that way, but then I decided that I wanted it to be, I wanted the dirt to be the star. So here is our final dirt piece. You can see I added a little bit of those flakes on top. Not too many because I didn't want to take it away, but I wanted it to have like a buried treasure, goblin-y gold, something deep in the mines kind of texture for where you might find goblins. And then I had to ask myself, what would goblins bury in the dirt? And the most obvious answer was treasure, but the second most obvious answer was bones. So I ended up picking out some bone stickers from my stash to also use for this, and that was great because I wanted to use up some of my stickers for this anyways, or this project anyways, not this particular project, but the journal itself. And that worked out perfectly, but you can think about what you would like to bury in the dirt. Maybe some bugs would be a good idea. That would definitely be goblin-y if you're doing goblin stuff. But you could also put treasure under there. Treasure would be fun, and if you were doing like a pirate book, you could actually have buried treasure on these tags, and that would be really cute too. But yeah, just gonna glue the top and bottom to the back. Make sure when you go to repunch your holes, it's actually easier to cut your backing piece, which is the face of the card, at the same time you cut the card that you're going to use to make the dirt pieces, and then punch the little hole through both of them at the same time so that they all line up and you don't do what I did, where you punch it on the wrong side and therefore you have to then cover up that hole at a later point. And I will say, as much as I love how these stickers came out, they were such a pain because it's washi paper, like, sticker. And, of course, like, you can see I struggled here. They rolled up. They were really fiddly. And then I had to be really careful removing them from the backing so that they didn't tear because it's literally just washi paper. So, you know, maybe choose sturdier stickers than I did, but I really love how they came out. I think it looks really great. And I got to use up the rest of the sheet of stickers, so that was, like, a double bonus because I used my stuff so I can add new stuff to my stash now. And then I decided that the backs of these were just a little bit plain, a little bit plainer than I wanted them to be, and I didn't want to do anything like super over the top because I didn't want to take away from the cool front piece of these tags. So I just decided to clip out some word snippets and grab some stickers and just sort of make a little tiny like collaged element on the back so that you can still journal there, but you know, there's a little bit of visual interest on these things. And I think this is a really fun little project. These little sliding hinge tabs were actually inspired by something that Kim had made at Serene Bookworks. And so yeah, thank you, Kim, for the idea. And I love how these came out. They look really super cute, and I think they're really great because you could journal on the back, you can journal on the card front, you could also journal on the back of the dirt piece, but I don't know if you would want to. That would be such a pain to write on top of. But you could. There's space there to tuck something back there. It might be fun to tuck like a little picture back there and have a little secret photo spot. But you can see there is space up there to do something with it. So that might be your little buried treasure. It might be a photo that you choose to use. But I love how these came out. The dirt texture is definitely giving dirt. It was really fun to touch, really tactile, which has been like part of my goal with this Goblin cottage project, is to have things that are very tactile. But you can see the little shimmer there, the little hinging part, really fun, really good textures, and just a fun little element to add to your books. But that's gonna be it for me, guys, for today. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate your faces, of course. And don't forget to turn in tomorrow to see what we do for day 6 of the Goblin Mode Challenge, and check out the hashtag to see what everyone is making. That's gonna be it for me, guys. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye!